I have seen so many kids born in front of me, get married in front of me, and they break up in front of me. Regardless of, how many advices we keep giving them, the main thing is there has to be affection, love for your spouse, no matter what they are. However they are, if your caring has to be there. And at the same time, you have to have that faith that it's gonna last forever. It's gonna last forever. If you don't have that thing in you, you will not go forward.
So I'm going to sum it up by saying the deen has to be strong.
Absolutely.
The love has to be strong.
Absolutely.
Of course.
It has to be strong.
And the faith has to be strong.
Of course.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum. It's your brother Haq Islam on this week's edition of the Oasis. Today I have some very special guests. A family I've known for over 25 years. In fact, we're family. And I want to talk to you about their franchise opportunities with their business. One of the best, in fact, the best halal restaurant in Queens, Darbars Chicken and Ribs, located on Liberty Avenue. An incredible family operation. We want to talk about how the operation got started and how the business became a family enterprise, and all of a sudden, how they're going to take this family operation international. So I have the owner, founder, and the brother who's known as the mayor of Liberty Avenue, Shabhaz Ganny, and his son, Omar Ganny. Welcome to the Oasis.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Man,
thank you very much.
Shabazz, you're looking very good over there,
Thank
brother.
you.
You know what I'm saying?
Aging though, It's, like always.
We all are.
We all are.
So listen, you went from India to Queens. How'd that happen?
It's not actually, I came to the United States after a visit in Europe.
Mm-hmm. What's
and I
part
had
of Europe?
no plans of coming and migrating to another country because I already had it. It was thank God I had everything I wanted in India. Very good, very happy, big family. But moving to the United States when I came over here, it was a total different world over here.
But what made you said you went to Europe. What part of Europe?
Europe, I was in London, I was in France.
You opened up a business?
No, I
What
didn't.
kind of business were
It
you?
it was just vacationing.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, just vacationing.
Sounds like you had a lot of money.
I did. I mean, thank God for whatever I had. And yes, I did come to the United States. I have family over here, relatives whom I wanted to visit. They came over there. I came over here.
So
it
what made
started.
you go to Queens?
They lived in Queens, so I said, let me just move to Queens.
So you moved to Queens.
It was between Queens and Long Island, Nassau County.
Uh-huh.
So my first stop was Lynbrook, and then I moved to Corona, Queens.
Okay. So somewhere along the way you said, I'm going to open up a business.
Exactly.
What
And
provoked you?
I did open up several businesses in the beginning. When I came over here, there was a lot of families who had businesses such as bodegas. So I went and I joined partnership with people over there until I met my wife over here in the United States.
You met your wife here.
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yes.
And tell me that process. How did you meet
I
her?
heard she was a very nice woman, so I came all the way to the United States to see who this woman is. And then I ended up marrying her.
Sarcasm.
No, seriously.
It is the truth
You
about it.
know, my next show is Love in Islam, which is a show on Islamic matrimony. We're looking to find couples who are seeking marriage. So you've been married a long time. How many years?
I've been married 38 years now.
38 years. Okay, you got a lot of advice to give.
Well, if people are ready to listen to me, sure, why not?
So you've been married 38 years, correct?
Yes, I have.
How did you find the love of your life?
In India, we had proposals left, right, and center
For you?
for me.
You were just a
But
star. Wait a minute. Wait.
I
Whoa,
did choose to
whoa.
get
Let's slow
something
down.
Better than what I had over there.
You were a young man.
I was, yes.
You
He's
had
still a young man.
you had a lot of money. That's your son right there. You had a lot of money. You're traveling the world. This is like coming to America. You came all the way to Queens to find your wife.
Find my wife, yes.
Okay, what's the process?
Tell about the
Now-
story about coming to America. That was the first movie you watched when you came here.
That was the first. Is that the truth?
I was young and I was very energetic. At the same time, I did care, I wanted somebody who I could respect all my life and who could love me and I could love her. So there was a lot of good things I heard about somebody who had a very big misfortune in this country where she lost her husband. And there were only good things I heard about her. So I said, you know what? This is something I have to see on my own.
You had to meet her.
I had to come to the USA, come to Queens, New York, to see this person. And when I saw, that was the time I made my decision by myself. I called my pops. I said, she's the one I'm going to get married to. Forget about everybody else.
Soon as you saw her.
That's it. The next day I proposed.
Really?
Next day I proposed. And everything was, I told my cousin, I said, I want to go with this one.
So what was it, like a quickening in your spirit or something?
Quick decision, 1, 2, 3, because I saw that. And yes, I did hear a lot of good things from my family about her her character, how she was, what she was. And apparently, it so happened, it was strange, She came back to the United States. I came to the United States. Because after the incident, she moved.
Back to India.
To Pakistan. She was from Pakistan.
She's from Pakistan.
Yeah. And after Pakistan, she comes back the same time when I come back. So it was like written. Something that was written over there that, hey, you guys are going to meet over here.
MashaAllah.
So alhamdulillah, it happened.
This is wonderful.
And we have, mashallah, 7 good kids now, mashallah.
We're going to get to that.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, now you're here in America, Queens. You find your wife.
Mm-hmm.
You want to open up a restaurant. What made you make that decision?
So like I said, I was in the business of bodegas where there was things that were not Islamically inclined. So after my marriage, my wife tells me, I do not want this.
Bodegas.
I don't want this business. Something that contradicts our beliefs, something we don't want. I had to move on, right? So alhamdulillah, one day I was passing by Liberty Avenue and there you go. I find this place and I had the passion of cooking. I was very much inclined and I had the passion to make different kind of foods and serve my family with it. So I see a place in front of a masjid on Liberty Avenue where I am right now. And alhamdulillah, that moment it just came to me. I saw the sign and I asked one of the brothers, it's available? They said yes. Lando was a good man.
So how did you come up with
And I
the
just
name? How did you come up with the name Darbars?
Darbars is my father's name. And actually, Darbars means a place of meeting. Like if you have a king and his courtroom is called a Darbar. Whether it be, there's a lot of other religions that use the name Darbar. So my grandpa gave this name to my father because he was a very well-known person, my father, in India, in Bombay. I mean, there was people who looked up to him as he was pretty well off, and there were a lot of people who looked up at him, and so his name was Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
So Muhammad, my grandfather, out of respect that people do not disrespect this name, or sometimes, God forbid, somebody take it the wrong way or say something, curse it or whatever. So he said, let me just give you a nickname, Darbar. And then coincidentally, had a cousin who passed away in the United States. So while I was here, he told me, I have a vision that you have a Darbar's fried chicken.
Is that right?
Correct. And I said, Alhamdulillah, inshallah, one day, why not? He passed away. I had my chicken place then.
All right, so I'm going to
Alhamdulillah.
turn to one of your sons. Alhamdulillah. I'm going to turn to one of your sons, Omar, who is a friend of mine that I used to beat up when he was younger.
He's a
Yeah.
friend of mine too.
Omar, what's your first memory of Darbars?
So first memory of Darbars that I could remember growing up is it's a simple rule. It's like a golden rule in the restaurant industry. Anybody who has restaurants or works in restaurant knows that you're not supposed to eat behind the counter. So what do you do at a restaurant if your family and your kids come? First thing they do is they're gonna eat, right? Where are they gonna eat? They're gonna eat everywhere. It's Papa's store. We're gonna eat everywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
My father taught me number one rule, which I till this day teach any new team member that comes into the restaurant. Never eat behind the counter. You understand? In front of the customers.
Right.
It's just a simple rule. Even though it's a restaurant and you think, food's everywhere, don't eat. So that's my number one rule that I live by. That's my earliest memory.
That your earliest memory is your father telling you not to
eat behind
eat
the counter.
behind the counter.
Oh, actually, if you want, that's when the restaurant was running. Another one was before the restaurant ever became a restaurant. It was just a white space. My father, he took somebody to just take a look at the place. It was a very late night. He probably just rented it. He just got the space to rent out. And he took one of his family members to take a look at it. I'm opening up a business here. And I was with him. And he was like, let's go to a store. That's what he said to the family member. And I said, can we get some candy? He's like, son, it's not that type of store. That's exactly what I remember. If you want to talk about really early. And this is probably like when I was 6 years old. Yeah, really young.
So I want to go back to you for a second, Shabhaz. Like, you are like a pillar of the community. How many years has Darbars been there?
Exactly 29.
29 years.
Yes.
And you are considered the mayor of Liberty Avenue.
Alhamdulillah.
Everybody comes to you for consultation, advice, help. There's so many people you've helped in that community. You help people get married.
Alhamdulillah,
You help
thank you.
people get their green card. You find people employment. What's the driving factor behind you and all of this? Motivation.
I guess, alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me with this nature, this character probably. And the best people who can say something about this is people who know me and who have a relationship with me. In other words, they come over there, there's a lot of people, they seek advice. And, I always love to give it. Because advice is something the Prophet said that give advice that you would give to yourself, to others. And that's what I want. I always have been, honestly. What I think for myself, I think for others. What I put in my belly and my children's belly is what I put in the bellies of others. That's what I have always lived up to. That's one of the reasons. It's the secret of my success, alhamdulillah, is is whatever Allah has blessed us. Secondly, the understanding of the good things that we have done. Whatever we do today is something that just keeps coming we try to do it, whatever I do for me, myself and my children, I do it for the others too.
Omar, why did you decide to get involved in the business? And in fact, first, when did you decide to get involved in the business?
Getting involved with the family business is not easy, right? Because you're living with your boss, right? Imagine that, right? That's what I do. I live with my boss, right? Every day, So, I was in college.
Where'd you go to college?
I was in. I had just started Nassau Community College.
when did the seed get planted that you're going into the business?
We started going to the restaurant very young. 12, 13, 14 years old. My father's like, listen, I got a store, come to the store. We got to sit over there. We're going to, stand at the counter, pack some sodas, sweep the floor, whatever. You have to do something. This is your store. This is your business. This pays the bills.
But you know what? Really, second generation kids usually mess up the business, No, you look around, like whether it's the Kennedys, just look. I don't have to mention any names. Your dad planted something in you to keep it going. So was it working in the store or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if you force something on somebody, they're going to mess it up because they don't want to be there, right? How is it for me? Well, when I went to college, my father started, even a little bit before college, he started going out, doing other ventures because he's an entrepreneur, right? He's a businessman. He has to find other streams of revenue, whatever the case is, right? So he would go about what he would do. He would leave me behind, right? And as I'm there, I'm the man in charge, right? And now I'm implementing different rules, different structure. And it's nothing wrong. It's always just something different, right? New forms of marketing, new growth. And what that kind of did was that made me realize, hey, I think I know what to do here, And it kind of made me end up liking it more. That's when I realized we made a decision upon myself because he was always okay with whatever I wanted to do. He never forced it on me. I mean, obviously, as a young age, they're going to tell you, hey, listen, you don't waste time, come to the store, help out, right? But automatically, over time, he would always be okay with whatever I want to do, right? And this is what I chose to do, to get involved with the family business, grow the family business, move forward with it, progress with it.
So it's seven children. How many boys, how many girls? And are you the oldest?
No, I have an older brother.
Mm-hmm. But you're the one that's taking the reins.
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, my brother, like I said, he was okay with everything. My brother he's in digital marketing. Mm-hmm. So everybody's part of the family business one way or the other, right? So what does he do? He brings his digital marketing aspect to my business, to this business, the family business. It'll be his own thing, but we'll use him for digital marketing. One of my other sisters, she does interior design. So she would design the restaurants. Give it its look. So everybody puts in a little effort for the aspects of the business.
We have to focus on this for a second because the reality is that, Shabhaz, you have your whole family involved in your business. Mm-hmm. And this is very unusual. There's got to be some secret to this.
The best secret that I can tell you is I have very understanding kids. Alhamdulillah, they have been brought up by their mother very well. Mm-hmm. And they listen. And they all partake in the business as I think every child should do with their parents, no matter what they do. My advice would be like if kids and they relate with their parents more openly and they listen to their advices. Because remember, the elderly people give better advice than anything else. It's from experience. Mm-hmm. So, alhamdulillah, and the kids were always, when I had to travel, when I told Omar to come over there, he did, without any hesitation. And similarly, all my other kids have gone through full schooling because now, alhamdulillah, I was there and Omar was there. And then they got an opportunity to go to full college, whereas Omar had to skip a little bit and come and join the business.
Omar, no, go ahead, Shabhaz, please.
But at the same time, like I said, my kids were very understanding, and this is what gave us the drive to bring it more forward. And alhamdulillah, by being my right hand. Remember, together we stand. If it wasn't together, there would have been consequences, maybe other than what it is.
But Omar, you have to give me your perspective because, businesses usually fail with second generation. So your father was able to galvanize the thoughts of everybody in the family in this one direction. Even if they have other business entrepreneurial pursuits, your brothers and sisters are focused on Darbars. What did you think, or how did this happen? What did you think your father and mother did to instill that pride in the family business?
By taking you at a very young age. You understand? Like me, from a very young age, even my brothers. Take my brothers, for example. One of my brothers is 9 years younger than me, who's involved in the business, right? I think as early as I can remember, he's been at the store, hanging around, always associated with the store from the age of 10. You understand what I'm saying? So it becomes home for them, right? It becomes something that's very important to them, right? And teaching people the values that, hey, listen, we do everything for you. You understand? I think family-run businesses, there should be less independence and more codependency, but in a good way. Because codependency is always frowned upon in society, right?
What do you mean the business should be codependent?
Codependent, like, for example, when you have a family-run business and everybody's involved, I know what my brothers are doing right now. He knows what I'm doing. That's what how a business should be. For example, if you have a company, you know what your employee, you know which employee's on the shift, which employee's not on the shift. You kind of know that, right?
Right.
So just like that, in a family-run business, everybody who is part of the family, who benefits from the earnings of that family business, should be, their whereabouts should be known. Their plans should be, this is when you're talking about the in-depths of the family business you're asking me about, right?
Right.
Correct? And that's just, I think that's what makes it successful. And no egos.
No egos.
My dad yells at me, he kicks me out of the store. How many times he's done it?
Yeah.
There's people that you know personally that have witnessed it. You know what I mean?
My brother.
Yes, your brother's witnessed it. And he was there firsthand witnessing it, watching me getting kicked out. And guess what I did the next day?
Come back.
I said, no, you ain't kicking me out. Right? That's how you do it. You're not kicking me out. I've worked it. But now what happens is, if my ego came in the way, I don't need him, man. I just go and do my own thing. Probably could have done it. That wouldn't be the good thing, because you can't have egos. And now that was initially. Now if I tell my pop something, Pop, come on, you can't do that, He doesn't have it. He's like, how's my son going to tell me this? He doesn't say that. He's like, all right, he probably knows, what he's talking about. This is
Alhamdulillah.
lack of egos. You cannot have egos.
Yeah.
Oh, he hears it, man.
I have to listen to him now. I said,
every decision,
good.
Listen,
Definitely.
your wife is a special woman.
Yes.
Talk about your wife, talk about your mother, because she's the pillar that holds all this together.
Oh, yes.
7 kids. She's got to be I never met her in all these years. She has to be the most amazing woman.
She is.
Definitely.
I got 7 kids and 13 grands now. It's not too long.
Mashallah.
I was thinking about it. When am I going to get my grandkids? And alhamdulillah, my house is full. These guys, they come over there, they jumping all over the place.
Don't you guys live in the same community?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you live close to each
We
other.
live close to each other, yes.
This is an amazing, amazing story, Just the whole experience. Do you see the 13 grandchildren getting involved in Darbars?
Inshallah, ta'ala, yes, why not? Because planning Allah is the best plan of all. But we plan to the extent that, we leave a legacy behind so they can look up to it and say, you know what, we have to follow these footsteps.
What's next for Darbars?
Well, we're going to have, inshallah, the good food that we've been serving all these years, we look up that, once we start the franchising process, which we have already started. And hopefully we look going nationally, plus internationally.
How many Darbars are there now?
We have 3 3 which are existing right now.
Where are they?
One is in Valley Stream, which is with another name. We have it over there. We put like South African dishes over there.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Lekker Chows. It's something different, but it's nice. And Darbars is in Rosedale, and the main branch is in Liberty Avenue in Richmond Hill, South Richmond Hill.
And then we have one in progress in
Union Turnpike,
Union Turnpike,
Belrose.
Belrose.
When is that going to be open?
We did encounter some hiccups with it, but
End of the
regarding
year.
some permits. But sooner or later, yes, we're gonna be hitting the axe over there.
Now, Omar, I didn't give you an opportunity to talk about your mom. You got to talk about your mom.
My mom,
Yeah.
so my mom, she's my confidant when I'm stressed out, which obviously comes in, right? There's a bit when you're doing in business, you deal with a lot of stress. I am her favorite child. Okay.
Do you take issue with that?
Not at all, because for me, everybody's my favorite.
No, this is my argument that I have. We were 7 siblings, okay?
Right.
And I always say, I'm my mom's favorite, right? Because I'm her confidant, she's my confidant, right? When any issue arises, obviously big family, the first person she'll call is me, right? The first person she'll fight with is with me too as well. So she's it's that relationship, right? The mother-son relationship. But listen, I will argue with my mom. Damn sure I will not let no other sibling of mine argue with my mom. You know what I mean? That's how it is. Like, it's like, you know how you say nobody beats up my brother but me?
Yeah.
Right? So nobody argues with my mom but me. Very strong woman. She's been through her trials and tribulations throughout life, and obviously carrying 7 kids through and throughout, day in, day out through life, raising them well and strong, and keeping that homely environment. It's not an easy feat. It's pretty tough, I think.
Right.
I don't, it's very tough, you know what I mean? To be a mother, especially, in this day and age, making sure that everybody sticks together.
And your dad, I want you to talk to me like he's not here. Your dad is such a pillar of the community. He gives himself to the community. Does that bother you at all at times? Because he's always so giving.
Well, it's a good cop, bad cop thing, right?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest, right, with you. My dad is, I always say one thing, right? If I can be 10% of what my dad is, I'm already in God's grace.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay? That's exactly. So meaning if I could just be 10% of him, I'm in God's grace. But I mean, look, he has his way of doing things. Right?
Mhm.
We have adapted that. The only difference is that I look at it more, obviously, we're a little younger, it's a different time we live in, and I just tend to be a little bit more precautious, but he handles what he has to handle. You know what I mean? That's his thing. When it comes to giving and doing and everything, I send everybody towards my dad. You know what I mean? That's my pops. Let him do that. You know what I mean? Let him be the judgment of it, what he has to do, who he has to give to, which 99% of the time you're getting it, Anybody wants, for example, a social event or a church or a mosque or a temple, whatever, who needs food for a community event. Let's just say, for example, we did full funding for Sandy, for the Rockaways.
Mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean? At the time, we did it with a joint effort with, I think it was De Blasio at the time. We did that completely through and through. We handle, we work with Red Cross and a few other institutions as well.
So the spirit of giving has been transferred. to
It's
you.
transferred,
Yeah.
it's there.
Okay, I'm a young brother. I'm starting out. I want to open, this is a question for both of y'all, whoever wants to take it. I want to start my own halal restaurant. Where do I begin?
Where do you begin? That's a good question. You come, you knock on door. And
Knock on your door.
Knock on our door, and then
There you go.
we will guide you.
Restaurant.
But restaurants, it's like any business. You have to be in it to win it. You cannot take, whether it be a very successful franchise, even if it's, you have seen franchises which are very successful these days, but people have to make sure that they give it the time in the beginning in order for it to succeed. You have to be and represented as an endeavor you've taken with great responsibilities. Otherwise, businesses do fail. They do fail. But if you're not there, it will. And if
At the
you are
beginning, you were there every day
every
doing
day of my-
everything.
everything. I swept, I mopped, I cleaned, I cashed, I cooked, I did everything. Whatever it takes to do a restaurant. So did my kids. I mean, the first thing they learned also was to sweep and mop too. So, you know, if my wife to make them straight, she tells them go clean the bathrooms first. In order to stay tidy, you're gonna start with the bathrooms. You gotta keep them first. So similarly, anything you do, you have to be very much involved in it. And if a person comes to us, alhamdulillah, you know, it's in. We have been there 29 years, and we do know the ins and outs of the industry. And yes, we can assist in doing the best thing for
So
whoever
for
takes.
all those young brothers out there and sisters who want to get into the halal restaurant business, knock on Darbar's door. What's the address?
12609 Liberty Avenue, South Richmond Hill, New York.
And somebody is there. Either Omar is there, Shabhaz is there to give you advice and to help you franchise.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about how Darbars is going to go international.
International. Inshallah, soon. We would love to go in the Middle East.
Where you want to go?
Middle East, the
Middle
Gulf.
East.
Omar, you are one of the most talkative brothers I know in the world. You're real quiet today. Where do you want to go?
All over, man. You know what I want to do? I think the Gulf countries are a very good option.
Very good option.
Why?
Their economics is very good over there. The weather is really good. You know, the cost of running.
Tell me about the
operation-
economics. I know Saudi has a.
Well, Saudi's very strict in terms of how to run a business and operate a business. I'm talking when I say Gulf, more like sorry, my mistake. UAE, United Arab Emirates, right? Like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, very good. You know, those places you tend to be, you're able to be accessible economically to open up a business over there, to run a business in terms of the cost of labor, cost of operations, the chance of being profitable. Let me tell you one thing, and this is something for all people who want to get into any restaurant industry, whether it's my franchise, our franchise, or opening up your own halal restaurant. It's not as glamorous as you think it is. Very simple. Okay? It's not as glamorous. People think that because they see Instagram on the food and they automatically think, hey, you know, a tomato and a quarter pound of beef costs this much and I'm buying a burger for $15, you know, oh, they're making so much profit. Restaurant industry is one of the toughest businesses to ever run. Because when you're doing the restaurant business, you're basically a manufacturer. What are you? A manufacturer of food. You're taking 4 or 5 ingredients, putting it together, making a product, and serving it. From the point of ordering to the point of preparing, packing, and giving, the service has to be top notch. And the reason you franchise is because when they say that you open up a no brand new restaurant, 8 out of 10 restaurants fail in the first 18 months. Okay? 8 out of 10. When you franchise for example, a company that's been around for 20, 30 years,
And
40 years.
you have the experience to pull from.
What you have is you're getting a vessel of experience, knowledge. I mean, come on, consulting. How big is the consulting industry? What is consulting? A phone call. Hi, can you help me out? I need somebody. And all you could do, and you pay people thousands of dollars to give you a phone number that you could have done and put on Google. But no, that consulting is different. It's just like that. Franchising, you're paying for consulting. You're paying for direction. You're paying for growth. You're paying for progress. You're paying to be part of a family. What makes a family good? You don't have to worry about, hey, I got my family with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And over here, you got Darbars, which is a franchise. I'm 35 years old. The one after me, my brother, he's 26. You know, you're getting young, driven, hot-blooded, progressive business owners entrepreneurs. You know, I always tell you, right? Don't judge if anybody wants to get into the franchising business, like wants to purchase a franchise, don't only look at the product, don't only look at the business, look at the owners you're getting, look at the franchisors, look who you're getting the franchise from. That's the number one thing.
Listen, for all those out there that want to contact Omar or Shabhaz, they gave you the address, but Omar, now I want you to look into this camera and give them the address, phone number. Franchise opportunities are available at Darbars. The food, let me tell you, the food is excellent. I've been going there for years. I tell you, these brothers are family friends for over 25 years. And the mayor here of Liberty Avenue will give you excellent advice on anything you want to talk about. Marriage, restaurant, who's the best mayor of New York City outside of him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is who you need to know and who you need to go if you want your halal restaurant to grow. So Omar, please look into this camera.
Come out. Check us out online. Check out our whole menu, darbarsonline.com. They should have a link being put up there in a couple weeks for franchising opportunities if you just want to go there. If you want to check out one of our locations, 12609 Liberty Avenue, South Richmond Hill, New York, 11419, 24604 Francis Lewis Boulevard, Rosedale, New York, 11422. You can come out over there, reach out to us, ask for Omar, ask for Shabhaz, ask for Mustafa. That's my younger brother. He's not here, couldn't make it. But definitely ask for us, and we'll put you in our timestamp. We could show you exactly how everything works. We have everything legitimized, FDD, everything. Come check us out. Try out the food, like the product, like the service, like the owners, and make your decision.
Excellent. Shabhaz, you know I have a new show, Love in Islam, which is a reality show where we Muslims are seeking spouses.
Of course.
You've been married 38 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to close with the best advice for Muslims who are seeking a mate.
You gotta look good first. Yeah. No, actually, whatever I would say, it's alhamdulillah, whatever has happened, a person cannot achieve anything without any faith. And faith can move mountains, bro. So when you're determined to do something like, make sure that in order to keep a relationship, like success comes with caring, loving, being very open to what you are. Because I have seen marriages fail in the last 38 years. Believe me, behind that counter where I've been, kids have got married. Actually, I will tell you, in 29 years of that business that I own over there, I have seen so many kids born in front of me, get married in front of me, and they break up in front of me. Regardless of, how many advices we keep giving them, the main thing is there has to be affection, love for your spouse, no matter what they are. However they are, if your caring has to be there. And at the same time, you have to have that faith that it's gonna last forever. It's gonna last forever. If you don't have that thing in you, you will not go forward.
So I'm going to sum it up by saying the deen has to be strong.
Absolutely.
The love has to be strong.
Absolutely.
Of course.
It has to be strong.
And the faith has to be strong.
Of course.
Alhamdulillah. Listen, it's
They go hand in
always
hand.
good to interview my friends.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy and honored that you came through today to
Hey,
give
by
such-
the way, I had a very good friend called Miss Gail.
Oh,
Had you asked her how I was?
That's my mom. My mom. After the I'm gonna tell the story, right? After my dad died, I was at Howard University, and she called me and she said, "I'm gonna become a Muslim."
She was inspired.
And we'll leave it there, folks.
And I told my wife I'm gonna get married again. Anyway, that's for the day.
Listen, Shabhaz, Omar, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
We are truly family, and in so many ways. And listen, I love the food. I love you. I love you. So listen,
Definitely.
brothers and sisters, this is this week's edition of the Oasis. We look forward to seeing you again. Your brother. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.